Hey guys, Dan Heilman back with another video. Today we're going to be doing a weekly recap, what happened this week in the cryptocurrency and kind of the economy and some other things. We'll look at the stock market, stuff like that. I was thinking about doing a weekly recap every weekend. Let me know what you think below if you think that's a good idea. I was also kind of throwing the idea about having a premium subscription. I said I'd never do it, but I might just do something really cheap and just use the YouTube join feature to give access to indicators and maybe like a weekly members only video, maybe even some trades, stuff like that. I don't know if anyone would be interested in that. So I just kind of want to get people's opinion on that. If anyone watches this video, you can feel free to comment about it. What are your thoughts on it? Do you hate premium subscriptions? Do you like them? All of that. So our plan for the weekend was today is the 14th. I said that we will most likely get a dump just because we have been getting dumps on the 14th. So, you can see here, dumps have started on the 14th for many times. So that's what I'm kind of expecting to start today. We'll see if it happens. We'll see if history repeats. Like this was one of the only ones that didn't really happen, and it still had like some sort of a dump. It was still like a 5%, but some of these were quite large. So we'll see what happens. It's usually literally starting pretty much today or the day after. So we'll see if that happens. I have published my indicator for the bull market support band. I just kind of realized that like TradingView has been like taking down some of my indicators, and I am kind of struggling to see why. That's one of the main reasons I was throwing around like a premium subscription, and then you could just give me your TradingView and I could give you access to some of them. I don't know if anyone has been using any of these. I do see people boosting them and even leaving comments on some of them saying that they're pretty cool. So I don't know. I'm just throwing around the idea. I have no idea if people are interested in that or want anything to do with that. But let's begin on what do we have this week, okay? So daily, we've had literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candles in a row, which is pretty good. Monday through Friday, all green candles. We did have kind of this shooting star candle yesterday. So we had a big pump. I tried to get a short. My ad for my short was 73,999 and we hit 73,940. So I did not get added to my short. I was kind of bummed. I do have a short open already. I took a short on render as well, Friday 10 a.m. and this one turned out pretty good. I took small profits off of it. I took a short on Trump because I saw this one pumping like insanely. That was a nice short on Trump, and I took a short on ETH up here at 71.85. So I took some shorts there, and I'm using Bitunix for those. If you want to use Bitunix, affiliate link below. That is the best way to support the channel. It's basically the only reason I'm able to make videos all the time. So if you do want to support me, feel free to use that affiliate link. You can buy spot, you can leverage trade, you can do whatever. But if you use my affiliate link, you do get a nice discount on fees. So yeah, feel free to support me that way and hitting that like and subscribe button below and leaving a comment. So that is all useful. The stock market, however, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're basically down. And what we have done is we've now broken below the bull market support band, which is, again, that last indicator that I published. That one is free at the moment. So here's the bull market support band, and you can see we've broken below it. Now, we could see a nice bounce from here, but every time we have closed daily candles, not every time, but almost every time we've closed multiple daily candles below the bull market support band, we've seen kind of a big dump. So obviously this one was the April liberation tariffs. We saw almost a 20% dump from that. This one, we did get like a couple closes below and then popped back above it. This one, when we closed below it, we did see a decent little fall from the top. This was a 10%, so kind of small, but most of the time when we close daily candles below this bull market support band, we end up seeing further downside. This one, we just had 3 closes, popped right back up. That one wasn't a big deal. That one wasn't a big deal. But you can see about 50% or more of the time we close below, we'll see some bigger drops. This one ended up being like a 18%. This one was, what is that, August of last, no, this is August of 2022. Sorry, not last year. This time flies. So you can see here though, a lot of times when we close below this, and one thing I kind of see that kind of resembles, if we go to like the weekly here, let me clean this chart up. This is my trade, all my trading macros and stuff. We'll just kind of clean this up a little bit. But you can see we kind of have this rounded top and a fall. I do have a short open. I opened a short at like 693 or something. And then when we came up and retested this bull market support band, I doubled my short. So now my total entry is about 684, and I'm already off about 3%. It's quite a large short. It's in my brokerage account. So if you have a brokerage account, you can just enable margin trading, and that allows you to short. So I do have quite a big short here just because we've started to close below, and I just see this kind of this rounded action here, and I think that's going to play out to the downside, and we'll see what happens. Now, the crypto market has not really been following that, but I usually, when this happens, the crypto market, I see a lot of people post like, oh my God, we're decoupling from the stock market, you know, finally this and that. And usually that means there's a catch-up trade. And usually, unfortunately, it's Bitcoin doing that catch-up trade to the negative side and following. So we'll see what happens. It doesn't always happen, but you can see right now, Bitcoin divided by the SPX, we have been going up for a while, but we are also, let me clean this chart up again. It's kind of messy. We're also at this kind of like resistance point here that could hold as a bottom. So I can really see it going either way, but we've now lost this line, and now we're testing it from the bottom side, which I don't really like. You can see we tested it, we came back down, now we tested it again, and again on the daily, we have this shooting star candle upwards. We'll see what happens. We could make it up and fake out, you know, come up back up to this bull market support band, get rejected, and come back down. Or we could get rejected right here, and Bitcoin could take a fall with SPX, with the S&P 500, and maybe Bitcoin falls even more than the S&P 500. And we have the Camel Finance indicators saying that there's going to be some daily and weekly cycle lows sometime here in the next 2-3 months. So we'll see what happens. But right now, I have a short open on SPX, and I have some shorts open on the cryptocurrencies. I do still hold spot, so I do have a portion that is long. So if we go up, I'll close these shorts in the profit because I have my take profit in like break even, and I've already taken some profit, so they'll be profitable. And that's what I'd like to do lately with leverage trading, because it just seems nothing, pumps never seem to last. So I like to get out of these leverage trades quite quickly. I don't like to hold them open for very long, and you pay funding fees, etc. But anyways, I have some spot to cover me on the long side. I have some shorts to cover me on the short side, temporary. I plan to hold spot to like 2029. I've already started accumulating. I've been posting on the channel, what I've been accumulating. I've been mostly accumulating crypto stocks like Bitfarms and Bitdeer and Mara and IREN and Riot, CLSK, Hive, etc. So I'm starting to accumulate these just because we've had such a big pullback. Some of these are down already 75%. And another thing is, if we come down here and we look at like IREN versus Bitcoin, you can see it's been performing very well. It's been very strong. We're above the bull market support band, meaning we're strong. However, the bull market support band has rolled over and it's red now. So maybe we're going to start seeing a top here. You can see we've had like almost higher top, but the RSI has been a lot lower. So go to the daily. We did not make a higher low, so I guess there's no bearish divergence quite yet. But WGMI is all of the miners versus Bitcoin, and it does kind of look like it's kind of broken out of this descending channel. But we did just sweep the top, and now we've had a pull back. So we'll see what happens. This did form a bearish divergence because we have a higher high, and then on RSI we have a lower high. So we do have a bearish divergence on this, and that may play out to the downside. If the stock market falls, the miners have a lot more correlation with the stock market than Bitcoin, especially some of these that are, changing over to AI. So they kind of, some of them decoupled away from Bitcoin. As you can see, they've been pumping over the last almost year, compared to Bitcoin, where Bitcoin's been in a full-on bear market. Some of these are, close to all-time highs or making new all-time highs, like Hut, for example. This one is basically just made a new, not an all-time high, but a cycle high. Another strong one. So got Hut 8. What was the other one that's been doing? Even IREN has been doing very well. So, this is basically November of last year, and we had this big pump here, and Bitcoin didn't really do that. Now IREN is below the bull market support band. So we'll see what happens here. XXI is another one I'm watching. It looks like it's potentially trying to break out. No confirmation of that yet, but Wolf is another one that's just hanging out at all-time highs. So these have been performing very well, and these are going to be kind of my main play over the next 4 years. Is I'm going to get a lot of these. I'm going to have a lot less altcoins than I've had previously. I've been in the crypto market since 2017, and all of the long-term holds for altcoins have just been absolutely garbage besides BNB. It's like the only one that I had a decent chunk of and did very well. I was buying BNB at $7. So that was the only kind of good play I've had in altcoins. Otherwise, altcoins just bleed against Bitcoin. You can catch them for short-term trades, and it's kind of like a leverage play on Bitcoin, but I mean, even Litecoin, I've been buying since 2017, and originally my cost basis for Litecoin was like $250, and that's something we didn't even really hit this cycle. So that's been kind of disappointing. I can turn off this indicator now, but we'll see. Are we going to get a dump today? And I just want to gauge people's opinions on if they want some weekly recaps. I'll talk about some charts, and then I'll talk about news like I'm about to do right now. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. If I should do this every week, and if I should have any sort of premium subscription. I can either do it through my website, I can do it through YouTube, or I can do it through, I don't know, Discord or something, or maybe all of them. So we'll see. But all right, so for March 8th to 14th, I asked Grok to give me kind of a recap of what happened. We had the geopolitical and oil shock. Everyone's been talking about that. So we had some big pumps in oil and then some big dumps. But it looks like potentially we might be sweeping back into the highs for oil. Let's actually just look at that real quick. So oil is usually kind of like a negative indicator for the economy. So when oil starts pumping, usually that means like stock markets start dumping. So we had this big pump. I tried to get a short, but I couldn't find anywhere to short it. I heard Bitunix is going to add it. I don't know that they have yet. I haven't checked. I wanted to short at like 120. That would have been a great short, and then I would probably close quickly because you can see we had this perfect bounce off this line here, so this could go much higher, especially depending on what happens in the Middle East over there. So that's what we got going on. We got US labor market softening. So we had payrolls down by 92,000. They were expecting to have like a 40,000 gain or something, and they went down by 92,000. So not good. Unemployment rate rising to 4.4. It is looking ever more likely like we're going into a recession. We're probably already in a recession, and when they paint the recession bars, it's probably going to be starting, I don't know, could even be almost a year ago at this point, because the Somme recession rule triggered under Biden, so that was whatever, a year and a half ago. But we'll see what that happens there. The labor market continues to look negative. Now, the outlook for rate cuts are bad because inflation data has been going up. So we have pretty much the worst case where inflation is up and unemployment is up, meaning the Fed will cut rates if they're both low, right? So they want inflation at 2% and they want the labor market softening, and then they'll cut rates and basically make it easier to kind of rebound the economy. But right now they kind of are in a predicament because they're saying that tariffs are inflationary. We have unknown inflation coming. Oil is going up, which is inflationary. Housing is coming down finally. That's a big contributor to overall inflation. But this is bad. And then this is also bad. And they're happening together, which is pretty brutal. So we'll see if rate cuts happen. The odd for rate cuts are just going down and down and down and down. Oil pumping makes it even worse. Inflation going up makes it even worse. Growth revisions was revised lower, impacted by factors like prior government shutdowns, etc. So the GDP growth, domestic product, is lower than it's supposed to be, saying, again, the economy is weakening. Stock market, Dow down, slightly off. NASDAQ edging up mostly at times. Weekly losses accumulated amid oil-driven inflation and war headlines again. So usually when you see big pumps in oil, that can either start a recession, because again, inflation going up and they don't want to cut. So we go through some sort of a hard times. I don't know. I don't really buy the whole Fed cutting has some massive improvement on the economy. I think it's also more money printing, where it kind of stimulates the economy through money printing. I'm no economist, but that's just how I understand how it works. 3% since the war's escalation. Other notes: tariff policy uncertainty. This is kind of funny. Like the Supreme Court said, all right, they're illegal, and then I think Trump pretty much came out and said, well, I'm not changing them, blah, blah, blah. So that was kind of interesting. China's 2026 growth target was set lower, signaling pragmatic support rather than aggressive stimulus. Overall, markets balanced war-related risk, higher deficits, inflation from energy. Again, oil and some energy stocks are going up. Also, energy stocks are usually the last to pump in a bear market. So when you're going into a bear market, stocks will dump, and energy stocks usually see a nice pump in the beginning, and then eventually they'll correct near the kind of the end of the recession. So That's pretty normal. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin demonstrated strength. It did. We had some nice pumps into the 71,000-ish range. From earlier dips, Bitcoin took a lot bigger hit, and then the SPY now is also reacting to that. So it seems like crypto was kind of front running some of that, and maybe crypto was even front running the 4-year cycles. So the S&P 500 also goes through 4-year cycles. So maybe Bitcoin was front running that, and now it's going to see a more strength compared to the stock market, which is a little bit slower to react to that. Ethereum faced more pressure, did see some big dumps, testing levels around 2,000. So that is interesting. Corporate moves, a lot of accumulation for MicroStrategy and Strike, STRC. So that's interesting, and boosting ETH holds significantly as well. Market sentiment, early week dips tied to global risk, etc. Bitcoin strength. And let's see the fear and greed real quick, and then we'll get out of here. Comment below on all the questions I asked. But fear and greed, I think we're low again. We're in extreme fear still. Last month we had a 5. We're a little bit going up. I want to check FOMO Finder, but FOMO Finder has not been working. I've been trying to get into FOMO Finder. It just sits there and loads for like hours and hours and hours. Hey, it loads today. Yesterday I couldn't get in at all. So that's cool. We'll see where we're at. I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to be short right now. Yeah, we're in panic. So that means most people are short. Premium predicted funding is negative. Right now it is barely positive. So interesting. Yeah, we're in panic. So usually that means people are trying to short like crazy. I am in a short. I don't like being in the same direction as other people as well. I like to take the opposite side. So that's part of the reason why I closed some of my shorts, but also again, I'm trying to take quick profits in leverage trades because usually it does not last. So anyways, that's gonna be it for the video. Let me know if you guys liked this weekend deep dive, if you want me to continue doing them, and comment below also about premium subscriptions and stuff. I don't know if people are interested in that. I'd like to, a lot of people charge like 40, 50 bucks a month. I would just start it off real cheap, like I don't even know, $5 a month or something, get access to indicators and all that. I'm annoyed that TradingView keeps on taking my indicators down, so if I have them private, then they can't do that, and I could give access that way. I could also update my website. I want to mess around with Claude, another thing I'm working on, and try to get Claude AI to kind of develop some tools and stuff for me. So that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Have a great day, have a good weekend, and that's it. See you guys.